So I recently got a phone call, and it was from a commercial truck builder, Heritage Truck. These guys are based out of the Akron, Ohio area. They're actually a little bit south, and they were looking for a way to track not only the vehicles that are on their massive lot, because they are commercial trucks, but they're also looking for a way to track the keys. That's where TrueSpot came into play. We've got tracking tags for keys that they're taking advantage of, right? Very simple, about the size of a quarter. You can zip tie it on a set of keys, and there's a QR code to be able to connect it up to a piece of inventory. And then using our vehicle tracking tags, you can throw this around the rearview mirror, the shifter, visor, wherever it needs to live in your vehicle so that you can track where the vehicle is. Now they're using both these tags, which then allows them to use things like our phone app to come in here, type in the last four of a VIN, a stock, however they want to identify the vehicle, find that vehicle, and then be able to see the location of the vehicle. On top of that, it tells them right above the map, hey, location, South Lot S1. So their naming convention, so they understand where that vehicle is. And then they can also hop over and see the location of the key. So this key shows to be in the building, and then they can read above it, hey, location shop bays 23 and 24. So if they walk over to where a key is located and they get into these service bays and they go, okay, I'm here on the map, here's a blue dot, I show up right next to this, they can then hit that find a key button that you see up on the screen. It'll actually light up green. When they do, a couple things will happen. The LED will start flashing inside of the tag. So if you're looking for it, hopefully that'll help you. Or if you walk up to a set of keys, it may be on like a board, you'd see the keys flash. The second part to that is a white ball is going to appear here on the screen. And as I walk closer to that tag, that white ball is going to move towards the bottom of the screen. When it gets to immediate, you're standing within 1 to 2 feet. Now you may be asking yourself, how does this work? What's the tech? Well, the tech is called LoRa, L-O-R-A. It's a combination of low campus radio and Bluetooth. Outside, typically on the fences, light poles, I'm going to use these guys. This is a solar-powered gateway. Holds about a month's worth of charge, so it doesn't require power lines or anything like that. I can run this up light poles, band clamp it on, or simply connect it up to fences, things of that nature, right? So just have to have structures connected. Now, when you get inside of buildings, that's where I'm going to use these interior gateways. These are going to plug into like a power outlet or a USB, about the size of half a deck of cards. This is what's going to allow you to see those keys that are hanging on a keyboard, right? That are in a key machine, that are in service bays. These are what's going to allow you to see them inside. So a combination of several of both of these, as you can see on the map, is what's going to allow you to track at their main campus and even their spillover campus down here. All of these talk to a base station. This piece is going to connect to the internet in one of their main buildings, right? So this is what collects all the data points and pushes them up to the cloud. So when you open up the phone app or the desktop dashboard, you can see where a key tag is, a car tag, or maybe it's a tag connected to a dealer plate, a jump box, a specialty tool, whatever the item may be. So on the desktop dashboard, this is where you can do a lot of really cool stuff. Now, initially you can see I'm looking at every single vehicle that is on both of their lots. So they have 2 different lots down here. Now I can switch over and look at every single key and the location of every single key. So at the end of a night, if you're worried about a key getting left way out at the end of campus, hey, here's an easy way to check it. You can hover over it and it'll tell you what it is, or you can click into a geofenced area and it'll tell you the 2 sets of keys and what they're connected to, whether it's a stock number, a VIN, whatever your identifying code is. We can take this one step further. What if you just want to generally know where things are, right? Hey, I've got 43 vehicles in the shop right now. Which 43? Here's a list of all 43, right? If you want to check on those, see where they're at in processes, things like recon for a lot of dealerships, or for these guys working their way through a process to be delivered to a customer. And they can export any list they ever generate to an Excel sheet to be able to provide to somebody. They need to look through it. If I want to know how many vehicles are sitting in the employee parking lot right now, hey, well, there's 11 vehicles in the employee parking lot, and here's all 11. You can start to see where this becomes powerful. So I can see the location of vehicles as they work through their process from they receive it and it's just a frame to completely finished and being delivered to someone. And they can do that same thing for keys. If they ever want to look on here and say, hey, do I have any sets of keys in the employee parking lot right now? Absolutely, you've got 5 sets of keys. If one of our tag leaves the campus, let me explain how that works. Up on the top over here, there is a last sightings tab. I have one for vehicles, and I also have one for keys. So if a vehicle ever leaves the campus and it has one of our tags in it, it immediately starts a timer. And that way you'll know. So, hey, they've currently got one vehicle that's been gone for more than 4 hours, and this is the specific vehicle. Now it's going to show you a pin drop of the vehicle because that's the last place it was seen right before it left the lot. But it'll give you a timestamp as to when it left. So over here I can see 12/13/2024 at 8:24 a.m. Central Standard Time. And it left the employee parking lot. Now there may be a note. You can add notes to this. So understand, you can drop in notes if it was, hey, we're sending it off for upfitting, right? Maybe it's refrigeration or whatever the case may be. You know, they could say out to upfitter. right? And they can name off the upfitter, and then they can tag somebody. So if they need to tag a specific member of the team, let's pretend it's Bill here for a second, Bill will then get a notification on this specific vehicle with this note. This also works for, hey, it's got a dead battery, it needs to be rolled in, whatever the case may be, whether it's, in what part of a process. If I was to accidentally take a set of keys home, I was the last one to work on the truck, keys were in my jacket, I left for the day and just forgot. If you shot a text to me that said, Justin, will you open up the TrueSpot app when I do? It will work as part of the network that I mentioned earlier and can ping a key or a vehicle off campus. So if I accidentally took a set of keys home, shoot me a text, I open this up, it pops up on the map and we go, oh, okay, thank God. We didn't lose the keys, they just accidentally went home with our tech or our sales guy or whatever the position is. If you want to go drop off a vehicle and a set of keys at an upfitter, the refrigeration place, let's pretend, I could drive it over there, open up my phone app, ping the car and the key off location, and then put a note in notating that went over to the refrigeration center that we work with, and we would see them notated on the map off campus. So understand there are some ways you can use this to your advantage if it's going to go somewhere that doesn't have the network. Now, if you ever want to connect something to a tag that isn't specifically a key or a vehicle, maybe it's a jump box, big trickle charge, maybe it's a gas car, maybe it's a dealer plate, a golf car keys, a specialty tool, whatever the item is, understand you absolutely can. You can take one of our triangle key tags and connect it up to anything. You would just manually give it a name, and then it will live in the manual entries tab on the screen, and you'll be able to search it out. So understand it's a flexible system that allows you to track not only keys, but also vehicles, but anything else that seems to grow legs and wander off. So with all this data comes reporting. Here's a cool report that I've generated. And what this allows them to do is see if a tag is sitting stagnant and hasn't moved. So what they could do is if I have cars working through a recon process or through a service process, right? Or any kind of process that I want to track, I have a filter and a toggle up here, and I can pick amount of days. So I'm going to go up here to something a little bit higher, right? When I get to 6 days, I can look a list of tags that haven't moved. Now, these are specifically service tags, but if this is connected to a stock number of VIN, right? Could be a retail vehicle, could be a service vehicle, custom ID, however you want to do it. You can see the tag number 298, 717, 140, 220, and 295, and a 711 haven't moved in 6 days. So this way they know to go check in the process to see what's going on with that vehicle. Is it waiting on a customer approval? Is it holding on a part? What's going on with this? Why are we not continuing to work on this car, right? Why is it not moved to the next step of our process? So one cool way that you can use this. Another really cool way, if this applies more on a retail side, maybe you sell vehicles or equipment, right? Maybe it's motorcycles, wherever the item is. I want to know when items are getting test driven. Well, what if you could come in here and say, hey, show me anything that's left my campus for at least 10 minutes, but less than 30 minutes. From there, we can then generate you a report and it'll show you every single vehicle that left the campus. Now, you may want a certain day or a collection of days. Maybe I want to look at just the 7th, right? I now have a list of every vehicle, right, with a stock or identifying number and when it left, right, for that period of time, and then even how many times it was driven. So if you have vehicles being driven more than once, you'll know. This becomes powerful because if you work in the retail side, now you can see what people are driving and compare that to what they're buying. Or if you're concerned that maybe people are misusing your vehicles or your tools, you can see, much like this top one, that there was one vehicle that was driven 19 times that day off campus for 10 to 30 minutes. Now, this may be a runner car that goes to pick up parts or does stuff for your team, but if it's not, maybe you want to look into this. There's all kinds of different custom reporting we can build to help your specific store or your specific need. Just let us know. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more, you want to know about tracking keys or tracking vehicles or both, or maybe it's something a little bit different, you want to know how this can apply, give me a call, text, email. Let's talk about your specific location, your needs, and how we can help.